Today I'm going over how to use sticky position and bubble on the header in a blog sidebar. This is a follow-up to the previous sticky position video that I've done a couple of months ago, more than that, a while ago. Anyways, as we start to scroll down, you'll see that the header is stuck at the moment, and at a certain point it fades away and then the sidebar gets stuck. Let's take a look at the layout. I've added some borders to the groups so we can see where everything is. The header and sidebar are not stuck yet, so you'll see that they just go up with the page as we scroll down. But the header is in its own group. The main content is in another group, and then we have the footer in another group. Within the main content, we have our blog hero section, and then the main body section, with the body being over to the right and the menu being over to the left of the sidebar. Within the main is the hero group, and then the blog body group. Within the blog body group is the body, and then the sidebar, which acts as the menu. And so the body, in this case, the article is rather long, so it would be nice to have the menu off to the side so people can just click back and forth. So this sticky position works within the parent. So the parent of the header is the page, and the parent of the sidebar is the body group. And so as we get to the end of the body group, in this case there's nothing else underneath it, but that is where the sticky would stop. It's not going to go any further than the parent. So if your parent is only down to this picture, it's not going to get stuck for very long. So let's jump into Bubble. The first thing that you'll need to do is install the plugin Classify. Once you install that, you can go to the plugin page, and then within the page there is a service link. If we click on that service link, you'll see the instructions for it, which are very minimal. The only one that you'll really be dealing with is this one called Add Class that we'll be going over. And then the second thing you'll want to do is double check in the settings under General. Scroll all the way to the bottom. Oh, I am at the bottom. All right, let's do this again. So the second thing you'll want to do is go to the Settings menu, go to General, and then scroll all the way to the bottom. It's the last thing on the bottom, and we want to make sure that that is checked. So let's go back to the designer. And in the elements tree, you can ignore this for now. This is where I've written the CSS that you see on the screen right now. But we have our group wrapper. I put everything in a group. I can go over more in a different video why I do that. But within the group is the header, the main, and the footer. And above that is the HTML element where we have our CSS. So you'll want to, after you design your page, you build it, and you want to have some things stuck, you'll want to drag the HTML element onto the page. And once you have it there, just go over to Layout, uncheck, make this, uncheck this element is visible on page load, and check collapse when hidden, because we don't want to see that when we look at the page. Back on the Appearance tab, let's go to the HTML editor, and in here we want to add two style tags. One an opening tag, so open bracket, the word style, close bracket, and then open bracket / style, close bracket. Between those two tags, we want to add a dot, and then my header, space, open curly bracket, return, then position, colon, space, sticky, space, exclamation mark, important, semicolon, return. The next thing we need to add is top, colon. For the header, it's going to be 0 pixels. Again, this is important. So exclamation mark, important, semicolon, return, close curly bracket. That's it. That's all we need to make that sticky. So we're saying the position is sticky and the top is going to be 0. So it's the top of the parent. In this case, it's the top of the page. And we want it to stay at the top of the page. So that's why we put 0. Now let's add the sidebar. So return dot my sidebar, space, open curly bracket, return, position, sticky, important. The reason we have to put important is because Bubble does not only classes like similar to what we're doing here, but they also have inline styles. So what we have to do is make sure that our stuff is the one that's getting recognized. And the way we do that is by adding the important after everything. So that's the only thing we have to do. So now both of those, once we add the class to the ID for each element, they will stick. So let's save that. And just because I've already written it in here, you'll see it's down here. So it's the same thing. So there's no conflict with what I've done. I'm just going to delete that one. So I still have my HTML element that has the styles in it. So now let's select the group header. We're on the Appearance tab. We'll go down to the ID attribute. We want to open curly bracket, add class, capital C, all one word, space, open quote, my header, close quote, close curly bracket. And that, just so that we can see. So let's refresh the page. Start scrolling. It is stuck. We haven't added it to the sidebar yet, so the sidebar is not stuck yet. So let's go back and add it to the sidebar. So we'll scroll down, and you can double check that we have picked the right thing by hitting reveal in Elements tree, and it's the blog sidebar that we want. So on the Appearance tab, under ID attribute, open curly bracket, add class, capital C, all one word, colon, space, open quote, my sidebar, close quote, close curly bracket. And let's go to the page, update the page. So now, not only is the header sticky, but the sidebar is stuck as well. And then people can just go through and click on the menu to go to the section that they want. So now let's return to the original one. When it comes to the mobile version, we don't want the sidebar menu to be stuck, because it would just take up the space and override. All the content would end up going underneath the sidebar. So what I've done back in Bubble, under the sidebar conditional tab, I've added current page width is smaller than 768, added the ID attribute as the property, and I'm leaving that blank. And so what that's going to do is that's going to take away the ID property, the class that we just added, and so now it's not going to be stuck, so it won't reference the style sheet. So you'll see this is actually a really good extension. It's called Responsive Viewer, because you can even scroll within, and it's going to scroll the other ones so that you can see what everything looks like. So we have our medium screen here, so it's the header fades away, the sidebar is stuck, and you can always adjust when this fades away if you're using a fade, and then this gets stuck. So that's the large screen. We have a tablets and minis. So that's it. That's all I have to do. Pretty easy, huh? That's it for now. I'm Michael Collins. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.